In a quiet English town, a hospital became the center of a national nightmare.
The Countess of Chester Hospital was trusted with the most fragile lives. Among the nurses was Lucy Letby, described as dedicated and compassionate.
This collapse doesn't make medical sense. Something is wrong.
One baby's sudden deterioration raised questions no one could answer.
We've done everything. Why isn't the baby responding?
Then it happened again. And again.
There's a pattern forming, and we can't ignore it.
A disturbing detail emerged. Lucy Letby was present during every unexplained collapse. Senior doctors began quietly reviewing months of unexplained collapses.
The survival rates changed suddenly. This isn't random.
Lab results revealed something shocking: insulin levels where none had been prescribed.
These insulin readings could not occur naturally in these infants.
Once again, one name appeared consistently on the shift pattern.
We cannot make accusations without undeniable evidence.
Doctors felt trapped between suspicion and institutional caution.
If we wait longer, more babies could be at risk.
To colleagues and parents, Lucy appeared calm, caring, and composed. But behind the quiet halls of the neonatal ward, suspicion was growing. Consultants formally raised concerns with hospital management.
We must handle this internally before involving outside authorities.
Despite concerns, Lucy remained on duty inside the neonatal unit. We cannot ignore the pattern any longer. This is beyond coincidence.
Another sudden collapse deepened fears among senior staff. Air embolism was considered a rare and dangerous occurrence.
Once more, the same nurse was present during the unexplained emergency.
Lucy Letby will be moved to administrative duties pending review.
She was removed from frontline care, but no public explanation was given. In 2017, the hospital contacted Cheshire Police. The investigation had begun. Cheshire Police launched a major inquiry into the neonatal deaths.
We are reviewing every single incident, one by one.
Investigators examined staffing rotas, medical notes, and lab results.
Her presence aligns with each critical event under review.
In July 2018, officers arrived at Lucy Letby's address.
Lucy Letby, you are under arrest on suspicion of murder.
The arrest sent shockwaves across Britain.
We need you to explain your presence during these incidents.
Lucy denied any wrongdoing, describing herself as a caring nurse. But the investigation was only beginning, and the evidence review would take years. Officers began a meticulous search of Lucy Letby's home.
Every document, every note, every device was seized for review.
Among the items found were handwritten notes with troubling phrases.
These writings raise serious questions about her state of mind.
Media attention intensified as the case expanded nationwide.
This could become one of the most complex medical trials in UK history.
In 2022, Lucy Letby formally stood trial.
The prosecution alleges deliberate harm to vulnerable infants.
My client maintains her innocence. These are tragic medical events. The jury would now decide one of Britain's most disturbing cases. Expert witnesses began explaining the complex medical evidence to the jury.
These insulin levels cannot be explained by natural causes.
Prosecutors outlined a pattern of collapses occurring during Letby's shifts.
This was not coincidence. This was calculated harm.
Parents of the infants listened as evidence about their children was presented.
We trusted the hospital completely. We trusted the staff.
The defense argued that systemic failures were being ignored. This unit faced staffing shortages and rising patient complexity.
Lucy Letby took the stand, denying every allegation.
I did not harm those babies. I would never hurt a child.
The prosecution began that the verdict was a law. Are you certain? But records show otherwise. How do you explain that?
Why were you present during so many unexplained collapses?
Because I was doing my job. I cared for very sick babies.
Jurors carefully examined inconsistencies highlighted by prosecutors.
How do you explain the notes found in your home?
They were written during a time of stress. They were not confessions.
Court is now adjourned. After months of testimony, closing arguments were delivered. We are dismissed.
There is no direct evidence proving deliberate harm.
The jury retired to consider one of the most complex cases in recent memory.
Days passed as families waited for the verdict. After days of deliberation, the jury returned to deliver its verdict.
Will the defendant please rise?
The foreperson clears throat, preparing to speak the decision.
We, the jury, find the defendant. Gasps fill the courtroom as the verdict shocks the nation.
Lucy Letby was taken into custody. The legal chapter closed for now.
Families mourned quietly, remembering children whose lives were cut short.
The hospital pledged to improve monitoring and safeguards to prevent future tragedies.
We are fully committed to these changes.
The case sparked national debate on medical oversight and accountability.
While justice was served, the emotional scars of the tragedy lingered across the nation.